All right, so there's some gamer drama going on this week. That's pretty interesting. Nvidia, the graphics card manufacturer that has been sort of the leader in the industry when it comes to gaming stuff for years now, has exploded in value. Let's see, isn't it like it might even be the most valuable company in the world now?
By far.
Market.
They're worth like $5 trillion or something.
Yeah, and a lot of that is driven by this current huge gold rush with the AI investments.
Yes,
because all of this stuff, all of this LLM AI technology that's been introduced in the last 5 years or so runs on their technology, on their chips. And so that has been a huge boon to this company. But despite that, they've still, make consumer grade graphics card and everything. They do have some competitors in like AMD and stuff, but they're the big boys. They're the big boys. It's
kind of crazy. Like they don't have even a competitor at the high level.
Yeah, I mean, AMD is really the only one. And AMD, while successful, I think they're pretty dwarfed in size.
I mean, nobody's buying anything but the Nvidia.
Yeah, so the technology continues to evolve, and just this past week, there was this conference, GTC, which I got to tell you, I don't know what that stands for. GTC, Global Artificial Intelligence Conference. Yeah, but what does it stand for, dude? Well, Nvidia GTC happened this last week, which is basically a convention that they put on, and there's a keynote address, and one of their big announcements that they had this year is this technology called DLSS5. So DLSS is already a technology that exists. A lot of people use it in gaming already to basically help increase frame rate and performance when you're playing a game. It makes the game run a little bit smoother. However, this new one, the DLSS5, is kind of a big leap forward. And one of the things that it does is uses generative AI to enhance the graphics of a game in real time. And they released a little demo. Let's take a look at that demo.
And make their graphics better automatically?
Yeah, it essentially...
Outside of the game? That's strange.
You might say it's a post-processing effect, but the CEO of Nvidia would say that's not true, and that's going to be part of the story. So, first of all, let's just watch the demo. So this is what they released 2 days ago now. Okay, so this is it. This is Resident Evil.
That's the new game.
Huh?
That's the one that just came out.
This is the one that just came out.
Looks
good.
Right? The motion's a little not fluid, to be honest, but...
Okay, fair enough.
Is that a cinematic or in-game?
This is in-game. This is just the...
Oh, that's really good in-game graphics.
Yeah. Right, so this is what the game normally looks like.
Okay.
And...
Now, with all the technology... Oh, shit. What the fuck?
What the...
So, while it does increase the photorealism, there is something sort of uncanny about this. A lot of people have referred to it as a yassification filter.
It's definitely got yassified. But, I mean, the lady looks real, though. Where before, you're playing a game, right? This is a video game character. That's like a real person. That's like an actor. Like, that's someone that you're like, oh, I know that actor.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the technology is impressive. You're not going to hear any argument from me there. However, well, let me keep going because they give a lot of examples, and some are worse than others.
That's GTC crazy. Is GPU technology conference, by the way.
Okay, I figured it was something GPU, but wasn't totally sure.
Okay, or a computer character, dumb. Oh, that's a real person, bro. That's crazy.
Okay, so
they butchered my boy.
This one, I feel, is awful.
Really? It looks like a real person.
Nah,
so it's not about
terrible.
That. I disagree. I think it looks crazy.
I feel like it totally changes the moodiness of this scene. And this is part of the problem and part of the backlash.
Does anyone agree with me that it looks like really good?
I like it too.
I think it goes from Batman to like Teen Wolf.
One looks like it's a computer video game, and one looks like a movie frame.
Yeah, but I don't want it to look like a movie.
So
Well,
you
you can
saying
turn
it
it
looks
off.
good? It's like,
Well,
yeah,
turn
it
it
looks
off
really
then.
realistic, but I don't know. It's like, do you like that vibe? And I kind of agree with Nate.
They didn't turn it off.
This character is supposed to be 50 years old, 51, I believe.
Okay, well that's
either
that's
way,
the
that's
game.
not-
You don't look 51 in
You
the
don't
game.
look
Yeah.
like 51
Yeah, he looks
before or
pretty good.
after.
But that's Leon. He's my goat.
That's Leon.
You know, you don't have to lie about your age in a video game. Make him look his age.
True.
What are we doing here?
No, he's super fit. He looks good.
There's certain shots of him where you can see it a little bit.
This is a good game, by the way.
It's amazing. It sent me down a whole Resident Evil rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I'm
he's been
surprised
playing like the other ones.
AB's
now,
never
too.
played Resident Evil. I love.
I never
Resident
played
Evil.
any of them.
They're
I never played
fantastic.
it and I
Check them
loved
out.
it.
I just find them to be a bit spooky.
They're not that bad.
Nah.
I think the only spooky ones is like 7 and Resident Evil 2 for the modern era.
How many
There's
are
like
there,
the scary
for fuck's
ones. The other ones aren't as bad.
sake? 7?
7 was really good. That's the
Seven's
Oh,
super
um,
terrifying.
How many
Fine.
how many damn things are there?
They're on 9.
9?
Well, they're
Okay.
all 9, but there's probably like 15 or 20 Resident Evils.
Jesus. Okay, good for them. It's good to be a fan of a franchise that puts out, eh?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Go ahead.
Puts
Lo-
out.
Yes, it sucks me off. Well, it feels like you're getting it because they're so good to you.
So here's my issue with this one in particular is less so, the level of realism on his face. I mean, here, when you can see it split screen, we're straight up changing the lighting in the scene. Now, especially in a horror game that is supposed to be moody and
Go
dark
back to
and
the
everything.
original. I mean, okay, so I don't think it's. Let me see now. Go back. I'm just looking at the lighting. I mean, it's kind of the same. It's doing the same thing. It just looks more real.
I don't really agree. His eyes are really intentionally underexposed here and kind of underlit to keep.
Let me
in
see.
shadow.
Can I go?
This is a much moodier shot than this one, and this is where the controversy comes in because at a certain point, it starts to become a philosophical sort of question of like, how much are we altering the artistic intent of the game with this technology at this point?
Well, I'm surprised. It seems odd to me that they're editing another game that they have nothing to do with graphics. That seems strange to me.
Well, Nvidia has partnerships with all of these companies, of course.
So this is with with their consent?
Well, that's going to be part of the story. It's complicated. It's with. You'll see. I'll get to that.
Because if I made this
with
game,
this one in particular, there were some employees at Capcom who makes the Resident Evil games that have spoken out about this.
If I made this game, I would want people to play it the way I made it, not some like Bollywood version of it or whatever. I don't know why I say Bollywood, but it's all. I don't know why I say Bollywood. Hollywood version of it.
I really don't know what point you're making with either Bollywood or Hollywood.
You're saying
I don't want it to see like all sparkly, crazy. Like I want you to play the game I made.
right.
Right. And so that's at the heart of this is, at what point is it out of the developer's hands? And there's going to be a lot of questions because people have made the counter argument, well, mods exist and people have been modding games forever. And people also make the point that you made earlier, Ethan, which is that it is just an option and you could theoretically turn this off. But there are counter arguments to that too, because now that the technology exists, the developers might start making the games with the intention of it running all the time. And then, of course, there are wider ethical questions. Some people just don't fuck with generative AI at all, so they don't want it.
They can make it look really shitty with the assumption that you have to run it with this on.
Exactly. That's another fear.
Why wouldn't
we
they?
can be much
People would.
lazier in the design process because we can just rely
But who
on
cares? I mean, if that's the way they want to make it and it ends up looking good.
Ultimately, that's up to the developer. But anyways, so it's just, it arose a lot of discussion.
Sure. The technology is really cool, though. Amazing.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this is building off of a pre-existing technology, but this is kind of a significant. You already could sort of call the DLSS thing generative because the whole before what it was used for is it would help make up frames between frames essentially to make everything smoother.
Sure.
But it would generally do that by just replicating the look and feel of the existing frames. This is obviously different in that it's fundamentally changing what's on screen. So here, those were the Resident Evil ones. They go on to give other examples.
Look at this.
This one, I feel like, and obviously this is a more exaggerated kind of cartoony, like not quite realistic look that they're going for. And I feel like it's less.
Oh, that one.
I hate
that
this.
one. I don't like.
Oh, interesting. See, that one
looks
bothered me
shit.
less than the other one. But I guess it's a matter of taste.
This one looks like my kids watch this shit called Brain Rot, and then when it's like it just looks like mega AI'd out. That's it.
I just
Sure.
don't get this.
This one is bad. I don't
It's like
like
they
it.
increase the contrast.
Increase the
looks like
contrast.
a-
The lines on her face became a lot deeper.
It's just disrespectful, I feel like, to the artists that did this.
I mean, that I don't disagree with.
This one looks like a Snapchat face swap filter.
yes.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people have been referring to it as like the Instagram filter, the Snapchat filter for your games, or
It's
whatever.
presumptuous to be like, yo, we're gonna make this game look way better
Yeah.
automatically.
I'm going to give a fair shake to
idiotic.
Nvidia because they did have counter arguments to all these points.
Let's see.
And we'll
I want
get
to see all the. I want to
Okay,
see all the
I'll
examples.
keep it going.
Yeah. I don't like that one at all.
There's another Hogwarts one.
Oh my God! Don't they understand?
Well, so
but
that
don't they
one-
understand?
That one actually looks too real.
Nobody. Why does it have to all look so realistic? What, isn't that the point of art and video games to escape reality? Why are they just like, oh well, here's a mod now that you can make it using AI to
The
make it look
person
realistic.
looks too real. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel like I'm watching a movie,
mean-
but in a bad way.
That's why I always liked World of Warcraft more than Final Fantasy. I like the cartoon look.
Yeah.
I don't want realistic.
Right.
What's you mean like how in Final Fantasy they have like
Final
20,
Fantasy.
200 pound, 20 feet swords,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess
Too
it's-
realistic. Too unrealistic.
talking dogs.
Yeah, I mean, this one's not great.
It's a little
This
strange.
one has the same problem I was saying with the Resident Evil.
It's
where
uncanny. It's uncomfy.
It's uncanny, and also, again, sorry to harp on this, but I feel like the lighting is what bothers me more than even like the skin texture or realism. Just because lighting is such a tool for storytelling, and I feel like, brightening his face.
Let me see. Go back. Let me see. Let me
off.
look at the lighting.
Also, is this the main character? Because if it is, I think it's supposed to be like 15 or 16. They age him up to like 20.
He doesn't look 15 in the
Interesting.
game.
He's supposed to be a teenager.
If it is
that's-
the main character, then yeah.
Okay.
Ages him, ages
you
him
could-
up by like 10 years, I feel, with the
Right.
filter.
Let me see the goblin.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, okay. He does not look like he smells nice.
No, I agree. He probably stink you, eh? All right, let's keep going.
All right. Keep it going. There's plenty more examples. The next one is. All right, this is Starfield.
I've played this game.
Okay.
The graphics are admittedly pretty shit. So this one looks like my problem is it looks very realistic, but the movements and stuff are still shit. Like the source game, and it just looks uncanny.
Yeah. This one, of
It's
the
not bad.
examples so far, I would say bothers me the least.
Starfield is such a fucking schwack
But yeah, maybe
game.
that is because this is not great looking to begin with. Whereas I thought, like, in my opinion, the Resident Evil shots, though they don't look as realistic, I thought they looked great in the original form and didn't need this. This, that
God.
kind of is just a better version of what was already there. It didn't feel that different. Let's keep going.
The movements are just uncanny though. It stands out more.
Yeah.
What's
There's more from Starfield.
I get I don't. This one's too realistic. Like, takes you out of the video game.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
This one looks mega fucked up. Let's see what this looks like.
dude?
I mean, with sports, I think it's cool because that looks really bad. Okay, hold on. I mean, with sports, I think it's fine because you want it to be
I feel like with
realistic.
sports,
Bro,
it's going to
what-
make the contrast between the players in the background even more clear. Because, the background's always shitty, like low-res people.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just repeated. It's odd. Anyways, so there you go. So this was the presentation. This came out, and pretty much immediately, obviously, all the conversation around generative AI is pretty controversial.
It just seems like unnecessary because
Yes.
the technology is already getting so good that games are looking so good, and it's just become so much less about graphics and more about gameplay and game experience. Because like we've all seen insane graphics, we're all kind of like I feel like not impressed by graphics so much
Right.
anymore.
So that came out. The backlash was pretty instant. It was generating, threads on Reddit with 23,000 upvotes.
What's it say?
Gamers react with overwhelming disgust to DLSS 5 generative AI glow-ups. Top comments. My biggest concern, besides ugly AI look, is consistency. Will the AI make the character look different when you see them in different lighting, or they're muddy or bloody?
But just turn it off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would likely do that.
Yeah.
We've heard your concerns. We're going to shovel this shit regardless.
Wait, what? They're in the comments?
We've heard your concerns, and we're going to shovel this shit regardless is the response I'm expecting. Keep that in mind for later when we talk about what the response was. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea.
Yeah.
I'd rather have my RAMs and video cards back. None of us asked for this AI slot bullshit that they keep trying to shove. 4,000 upvotes.
True.
So,
people are just and generally skeptical of AI right now.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not doing anybody any favors. And then it got so bad, in fact, that, for example, some people in the sort of gaming and technology press, like this channel, Digital Foundry, I don't know if you're familiar, pretty big channel, 1.5 million subs. They put out a video that was fairly receptive to it. They said they were there at the event and got like the in-person demo. They came and published a video where they were like talking about how impressed by it they were. And this is the result.
Put something on the record and we didn't.
So this is, by the way, this is their pseudo apology video for that video. And the volume's pretty quiet. Could you crank it for me? Thank you.
Dealing with here, good and bad, before we put something on the record, and we didn't do that. Equally on the record, though, as a motive, as subject as AI is, you're really not going to make your point effectively by actively threatening or sending death threats to the DF team. This is
so for giving this any sort of positive coverage, these guys got death threats sent to them.
Is this guy does not work with Nvidia?
No.
But so he's talking on behalf of himself.
Yeah, him and his company. I mean, it's there's a bunch of guys here. And again, this is the second video. This is the follow-up video because the first video was too.
So they got This is interesting. I'd like to see more footage
of them or of
them playing it with it on.
Oh, sure. Here, yeah, they do show some more here because again, they were at the event. So
with 4 games, lessons learned. But I guess going back to the video we produced, why get excited about DLSS 5? Well, we spent 3 hours with 4 games and the Zora tech demo. We spoke in detail with.
There's
it
another
looks like
one.
Epstein, eh?
What?
The guy in front looks like Epstein on the before. Go back to the before.
Well, he's dead, so.
He is. Look at that. That's Epstein, bro. At least on my monitor.
I see it. I actually do kind of see what you're doing.
They on Epstein him.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
DLSS, on Epstein him. So I would say this is another example of like this one.
They changed his skin color.
This one is like pretty bad, right? Like it's pretty significantly changing what this character looks.
The lighting is totally different. His
lighting
skin
is completely different. Even like kind of the shape of his face, like his bones. Maybe it's just an illusion with the lighting.
Well, I need to see it in motion.
We spoke in detail with the people that created DLSS 5, and whenever you're seeing something new and cutting edge, there's an excitement you get coming out fresh from those sort of types of encounters.
This one was really impressive.
Yeah, we can talk strengths and weaknesses about the technology in a bit.
This is Starfield, which is just a horrible game.
This is our first real look at games that are being driven by neural rendering, right? And there's a hell of a lot going on here.
But again,
that's going to be defined.
It's just kind of unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary.
It's like you're playing an old game.
It's a fucking job to some people. People, if you really care about having it look realistic in a specific game, you can hire people to do that.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun when they like re-release it with new graphics.
Get the remaster or whatever. Well, we're in kind of like an odd stage where, I mean, pretty much since CGI has been around, every time, in the 90s, I remember looking at CGI that existed then and being like, damn, this is so fucking good. I can't even like imagine it getting more realistic than that. And if you look at that shit now, it looks awful. That said, I really do feel like we are like just a couple steps away from it being totally indistinguishable from real life. But the closer we get to that threshold, without actually arriving, the more uncanny it gets. That's why they call it the uncanny valley, right? Is our brains when it's just a little bit off from being realistic, it takes on this kind of unsettling character. And I feel like this technology only serves to boost that, because it's still not getting it totally photorealistic.
No.
It's getting it really damn close, but not quite there. And I think that's kind of like the uncomfortable feeling that a lot of us were expressing looking at some of these. So anyways, lots of backlash.
I do feel like there's a good chance they just roll it out. People get used to it, and then nobody cares after like a year.
That's true. And I will say, too, that this is an early demo, so it could change over time. It could be tuned, and, other things could change. Now, that said, that was day one of the controversy. Day two, I guess this conference is still going on, the GTC, and Jensen Huang, who is the CEO of Nvidia, did a Q&A. And somebody asked him a question, and let's take a look.
Does he bungle it?
Huh?
He's going to bungle it.
Well, you be the judge. Zach, this one is, for some reason, the audio is very quiet. I'll need lots of gain on this. There are captions on this as well. So this starts with the question, and then you'll hear the answer.
Since DLSS 5 was revealed yesterday, there's been a pretty vocal response from some of the gaming community that the technology appears to make it worse, homogenous, or show only Nvidia's view of how games should look. How do you feel about that criticism?
Well, first of all, they're completely wrong.
I would just say, well, turn it off if you don't like it.
So
it's optional.
So I paused it there. He goes on to elaborate.
Very defensive, though, right up the gate.
Let me tell you, when this kind of criticism happens, and the response is, well, they're just wrong, or some sort of anything vaguely condescending like that, that is the worst fucking thing.
This is the biggest company in the world. Where's your PR?
Right. Because, and we will watch the rest of the clip, but now we have headlines like Jensen Huang says gamers are completely wrong about DLSS 5, Nvidia CEO, and
busted.
The game, it reminds me so much. Other people are pointing this out. There was a famous incident about 5 or 6 years ago with Blizzard, the video game company, and they announced a mobile Diablo game. And people were really upset because it kind of just looked like a cash grab, and people really wanted like an actual Diablo game and everything.
Yeah.
And that was where the famous line came out when the reception was poor, and the developer came out and said, "Don't you guys have phones?
Don't you guys have phones?"
Yeah, like as if the problem, what's the problem that it's a phone game? It's just indicating a lack of understanding of what the criticism is. You don't remember this? This was like a huge gamer
I remember
rage
people
moment.
being upset about it being like super play to win.
Here, I'll,
people were expecting a PC game. They got a mobile game.
Is there any?
They were like, "You guys have phones, right?"
Here.
Who cares?
And it also was in response to a Q&A question. Here is the famous incident.
Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this a strictly mobile forever?
Oh, I see. Then the question.
Are there any? The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC.
Big
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah, you guys don't have phones.
You're playing the soundbite over the here. Hold on.
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
I mean, they're being cheeky.
They're being cheeky, but and regardless, that just threw gasoline on the fire, basically.
They're super out of touch.
Don't go after
And that's
the
what's going on here.
Right. Don't go after the gamers. And like I said, this is a similar situation. Now, let's watch the rest of his response, because he does have sort of a technical response to this as well, but leading off with, well, let's just hear him again.
How do you feel about that criticism?
Well, first of all, they're completely wrong. The reason for that is because, as I explained very carefully, DLSS 5
Were you not listening?
fuses controllability of geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. Now, you could still fine-tune the generative AI so that you could make it your artistic style. And so,
talking about developers or players?
Developers.
Okay.
So he goes on to basically explain that the people making the games will have control of how this work, how it's implemented, and how closely it sticks to the art style. Which,
it's up to them.
Okay, I mean, like that actually is a decent response.
Yeah.
But none of that is being reported. If you look around, all of the articles are Nvidia CEO says gamers are wrong for being upset about this, which is just.
That's not what he said.
It's not really what he said.
He's kind of like their analysis is wrong because basically it's just a tool to help developers. You can use it to whatever extent you want. You can turn it off. It doesn't matter.
Right. Now, you can make the counter argument that, well, why didn't you show that then? Because the examples that you showed us don't look great. And so regardless of what it'll eventually, like,
yeah,
does that mean that it
were
wasn't
all
ready for prime time, or what happened here? And that leads me to this, which is that here. By the way, shout out to Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming. I don't know if you've ever heard of Insider
That's the
Gaming.
GOAT. He's the #2 leaker.
This was the game.
This guy's never lied about Half-Life, has he?
No, he's never lied. That was his underling.
Yeah, it was his
Mike
underling.
Straw.
Which, has Tom Henderson fired him yet?
No, he's a good writer. That's why.
What's his name? The guy who fucked us all?
Well, don't
Mike
invoke
Straw.
his name. Don't invoke his
Mike
name.
Straw, the last
Mike
straw.
Yeah, the last straw.
He never responded to us again, did he?
No, I wouldn't either.
I think he actually may have, but we just chose to. We realized he didn't have a sense of humor, and that it wasn't for him. It wasn't funny.
Just personally, I'm curious about.
Yeah.
It's kind of amusing how he takes it so.
Well,
seriously.
listen, Half-Life 3 still ain't out or even announced. So
yeah,
it
pipe
is what
down
it
there,
is.
Mr. Straw.
It is what it is. He
To
should
be
be
fair, it's
happy that
probably
we dropped
not
it.
Straw's fault. It's literally AI's fault because they pushed the RAM prices and like SSD prices,
Don't
which
run
has
defense for
delayed
Straw.
the Steam machine. Which
What is this code? This is really what he said?
Half-Life
Don't
3
let
is gonna
Straw
launch
off.
with the Steam machine.
He knows all that.
So
okay, you
Blame-
know what you're
blame
doing?
AI.
You're drinking copium through a straw.
no.
No, that's funny.
So here's the scoop from Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming, for who we have nothing but the utmost respect. Developers were left in the dark. Speaking with developers and artists at studios that have agreed to DLSS 5, including Capcom, which that was the Resident Evil, and Ubisoft, Insider Gaming was told that the tech was revealed to them at the same time as everyone else. We found out at the same time as the public, said one Ubisoft developer. Developers at Capcom tell Insider Gaming that the announcement and the publisher's involvement were particularly shocking, as Capcom has previously been historically very anti-AI with projects such as Resident Evil Requiem and other unannounced projects in development. So,
But just don't use it then.
right, but let's focus on the artistic argument side of this argument. Is his response was that, oh, it won't matter because it'll be in the hands of the developer how this technology is chosen to be implemented. It's just a little ironic that shortly after he said that, reporting comes out that the people that made the game that they used in the demo didn't like it and were not in the loop on this at all.
Probably should have showed it to them.
Right. And that kind of speaks to the wider point that, like, oh, if it's not that harmful and it's not going to, affect the artistic integrity of like what the developers intended, why did you choose to do it without their consent? Well, I should be clear. I think the executives at Capcom agreed to participate in this with Nvidia, but the developers, the actual people that made Resident Evil, they were not in the loop. Because obviously they wouldn't have been able to do that without permission, like you were asking before.
What, you want to say something tomorrow?
Oh, I just think, like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, and the developers they can have their own restraints on the AI. Like, okay, so what are you saying? Like, you can release the original game, and then also you can have your tailored upscale version if you want.
Yeah,
like,
essentially.
I think it's stupid.
I think the developer needs to put it in the game to use it, right?
No, yeah, but I think that's what you were saying. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the developer could spend the time.
Like, why wouldn't I?
So that when the user flips the switch and turns this on, it will do it in a way that they've specified somehow.
Yeah.
That it's rather than it just going willy-nilly and putting an Instagram yassification filter on everybody's face.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to work that way.
But if I'm the game developer, like I made it look a certain way for a certain reason, and all the examples he showed, they were just like upscales to more realistic versions. So again, that's not at all what they showed.
Just turn it off, no?
You know where they messed up? They should have showed some big titties. And then the gamers would have went for it.
Realistic.
No, you're right.
That's true. If they had
probably
shown the
would've won
Lara Croft, if I'd gotten to see,
We'd be like, hello.
you know,
Nvidia.
then I could have maybe,
They would have been on board, yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. Fuck.
Well, I don't
They don't know
understand.
how to
It's
gamers.
just a tool they're making available. You can choose not to use it.
Yeah, but I just think it's
No,
disrespectful and
100%.
stupid.
It is.
Why? But they can just not use it.
It's not
can
about
just
no.
not use it. The
Oh,
developers.
They can't. You
the
can't use
developers.
it as a consumer unless the developers put it in the game.
Okay.
I think.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just a tool to help. You know.
However, doesn't it?
And it could help like indie gamers who don't have a ton of resources to make like nice looking games
If they wanted
on a
it,
smaller.
if you're on a shoestring budget and you wanted like a hyper realistic game, you could theoretically use this to accomplish that with a much smaller team. That's true. And again, this
No.
is several years out. I don't think that this is going to be released anytime soon. They said that these demos were running on two 5090 cards, which is like the highest end card that's currently out there. And so this is not something right now that would really be available to most users.
Bro, no
but
indie
they
gamer is
gave a
gonna want
timeline of
that.
about 2 years from now, and theoretically at some point it could run on your average graphics card, just one of them, and it'd be available to most people with the PC. So lots of interesting angles here. I found it very interesting. I'm definitely my visceral reaction was one of disgust. In particular, again, my biggest thing is less the yassification filter, although that's kind of goofy on some of those too. Again, not to harp on it, but the lighting, the changing of the lighting.
That's huge.
Lighting is such a integral thing to mood and expression and like kind of trying to convey something, and allowing an algorithm to just kind of wing it and change that on the fly. That seems pretty bogus.
I
to
think
me.
Nvidia did a really bad job.
If it doesn't end up working that
Explaining
way,
it.
I mean, I use DLSS 4 all the time. I have a medium strength gaming rig, and so higher end, newer games. If I run it without that, my FPS, isn't great. It's choppy or whatever. And you flip that shit on, and it runs smooth as silk. It's great, but it doesn't really change what it looks like. So this is kind of like, this is a whole new territory here. So
Again, if you just think about it as a tool that they offered developers, it doesn't seem that serious. But they really didn't present it very good at all.
think
they
it
did
does
not.
seem
And then
serious.
again,
Even if it's just like, here's a
yeah,
tool.
because what you're saying about people with low budgets can use it to make games. It's like, so now, and I'm not trying to be like, well, I'm an artist, so I have to stand up for artists. But now they don't have to hire someone to do that.
I don't think so. I don't think it's like that because you still need to make.
Yeah, but you can make it way crappier, like you said. You can make it way crappier, and then you can just hit this.
I guess it depends on how it works. I don't know to what extent that's true. If you could just throw in like a really basic fucking like
I feel like you still have to do some
Gmod
right?
I don't know.
character model.
I get what you're
and then
saying.
have it look hyper realistic. I don't know if it's that powerful. Like I don't think you could take like
computer add Nvidia's.
Yeah, I don't know if you could take like an old source model like this or something.
I mean, this is all inevitable technology, unfortunately.
Does
There
that
it
mean
is.
we shouldn't fight it?
I don't think you have a choice. Unless you want to
Well,
bleep
in this
the
case,
bleep,
that's
the
not really
bleep,
true. In
bleep,
this case,
bleep
like
in
you said, you
Minecraft.
literally do have a choice. You theoretically could just not use this. This is an optional bonus feature.
The technology is coming, though.
I do agree with Tamara. It's gonna replace artists, but I also think
We're all getting replaced.
It's GG. I have been super blackpilled before on the show, and people get annoyed with me every time.
Dude, we're
But
all being
in my
replaced.
opinion, people should be prepared.
That's my point
That's-
too.
It's happening.
I see
bro,
a lot of people
and I
who are
hate it.
like, they kind of have their head buried because they're like, I hate AI, fuck AI.
Yeah.
I can't believe you. Blah,
You're
blah,
gonna
blah.
have to embrace it at some point.
But you need to. You don't. It's not even embrace, although that is, I think, maybe a good word for it. it's inevitable, and if you're not prepared, you're going to get left behind.
If you
it's
play-
happening.
I agree with Tamara, just because all of chat says W Tamara, yes Tamara. So whatever Tamara says, I agree with.
But that's my point. Is that like everyone's like, yeah, this shit technology sucks, and it's like, okay, well,
Well, like,
it's
but I
inevitable.
agree.
So
I agree, Ethan. Like, it's here and it's happening, and you know, but I just think when you can, like this bozo's going up here, like I think, yeah, why not clown on him, and why not give pushback to it, and why not just have it? If you're gonna, yes, it's going. Obviously, we're not gonna stop this from being incorporated, but at least like promoting an atmosphere that's still hiring humans and artists.
we're all being replaced.
AAA games, a long time ago they stopped caring about anything but the profit
It's
and
true.
all that shit.
Yeah.
If you want to, I think people should support indie games more.
That's all I
think
play now.
that should be the lesson out of all this.
Literally
games,
all I
indie
play.
games, indie games. There's so many wonderful indie games
There's
all over
so
Steam,
many awesome
all
games.
over all these platforms. That's the shit, bro.
Dude, Aspire 2 has been consuming my.
So I'm
my
still
night
playing
for the
Eugenics.
last,
I have like
2
almost
weeks.
200 hours on Eugenics.
There's
you go.
an indie game about running a VHS store right now. It's top 20 on Steam.
About running a
There's
VHS
so many.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Okay.
In my opinion, the indie games are more fun than the AAA.
Well,
Like,
technically,
to me,
last
the
year,
graphics don't matter at all. Like,
last
at
year,
all.
Ninja
with you
Game
on
won
that.
Game of the Year, Expedition 33, and that was totally or mostly independent. So
Right.
I think it's the game era we're in is all about indie games.
Yeah, I
because they're
agree.
just more fun. Period.
Yeah.
They're cheaper. They're more fun. You don't need a crazy computer to run it.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any like AAA games that I've played recently
I
that.
don't think I've played a AAA game since
Marvel
like
Rivals.
Starfield.
Starfield?
I don't play them. I mean, I played Diablo here and there, but
That would count.
I mean, you play stuff on your Switch too, right?
I played Diablo on my Switch.
I guess is Mario Kart a AAA game?
Yeah.
Would that be considered?
I'm not, like,
AAA?
super
I mean,
into
I know
it,
it's
though.
like a first-party Nintendo game, so it seems like it, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, just based on the amount of money they put into it. So yeah.
Fair enough. So that's probably the last one that I like played a lot of, and I mean that was great. Nintendo's kind of a special case though, and I doubt. I would be surprised if Nintendo was one of the developers that embrace this kind of thing because
They might
they're
have to.
So
They'll be last to maybe.
they may be last to, but yeah, I mean they're so control freaky about their IP that the idea of it being changed at all outside of the developer's control, I could see them being very resistant to that. But I guess we'll see.
Guys, you gotta prepare because it's coming for all of us.
It's coming for all.
It
of
is.
us. Yeah,
It's
maybe.
fucked up.
Or the entire bubble is going to burst in the next 6 months. So.
Even if it does burst, it's still coming. Maybe it's delayed a couple years.
Yeah. That might slow it down a bit, though.
Slow it down, but
I don't understand. Well, so people are already getting replaced. So that part is definitely not a bubble. You know what I mean? Like people have been replaced by AI for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more people are talking about it now that there's more public people like actors, artists, and stuff like that. But the people who wasn't talked about too much is the factory workers, the assembly line workers, all these people. They've been replaced for a hot minute now. And
they've been
there was
replaced, even before
they've been
AI.
replaced. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm so black.
That's a wider phenomenon of automation in general, which isn't really specific to AI. But you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in that same continuum of technology is always
Guys,
jobs.
there's only one solution. We all need to become Facebook airdroppers. You can all be rich. We can all be rich as long as we
So we just all just do
cheap
dropshipping? Is that
Chinese
what you mean?
products,
Yeah.
airdropped on Facebook. Let's
Is
go.
Airdrop or drop ship?
I don't know. Look
it
it
the
up.
same
Google
thing?
Little bit
it.
of this,
Google it.
little
I
bit
don't
of
know.
that.
And people who are saying stop accepting it, I'm not accepting it. I'm just,
You don't have a choice.
in my opinion, thinking more critically and thinking the worst is the
Guys,
opposite of accepting
you
it.
That's how you're gonna fight it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you.
You don't have a choice. Look at all the Waymos on the street now. You're gonna start crashing into them. What do you want? You want to start vandalizing them and burning
I
them?
do
and
cut
stuff?
them off sometimes.
I'm gonna
We don't
stop
talk
it.
about that enough.
You'll see.
The Waymos.
Yeah, that's only
Call me
really a
John
thing in
Connor.
California. It's pretty crazy.
For
It's gonna
now.
start. It's
For
gonna
now,
take
for
over,
now,
right?
I know. I'm just
It's
saying.
gonna take
though,
over
it's so
all
crazy.
the driving jobs.
Hey, listen. I see a lot of the Waymos downtown. Gotta say, those guys, they drive a hell of a lot better than most.
That is so
100%.
true. That
They
is
do
so
everything
true.
better.
They really do.
Yeah. When I drive next to a Waymo, I know they won't cut me off.
Yeah,
when I drive
exactly.
next
That's
to
kinda
someone
thing.
else, I'm waiting for them to just cut into my fucking lane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, I genuinely, when I'm driving,
You
near
see,
one of
that's the
Waymos,
problem.
I'm
What
like,
you guys
I'm
are saying
good.
right now is important.
Yeah.
Humans are not good at a lot of things.
Sure. Yeah.
The computer is better than us.
Well,
it makes us
certainly
safer.
Driving 3,000 pounds of metal at 60 miles an hour. I kind of
Pretty-
would trust a computer over a human on
But
that.
how
most
many
instances.
driving jobs are there in America? Because they're all going to be replaced. Uber, taxis, truckers.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be replaced in the next 10 years too, I think.
So the next level opinion would be to get everyone a baseline income, whatever they do.
That's
Boom.
That's the only way, in my
Socialism, baby.
opinion. That's not socialism, by the way.
It's the start.
You're talking about UBI or something?
That's
like
yeah. See, that's the thing. It's that has nothing to do with socialism.
Okay, I didn't mean to get
Oh.
into
Set-
Don't get me
Look what
started.
you've
Yeah, I
done,
did.
Lava.
We didn't-
Look
Don't
what
get
you've
me
done.
started. We can do that in a liberal democracy.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You should get a co-host to have arguments with
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Is this what you want to hear in the car when you jump into Waymo?
No. Please, no, spare me.
All hail glorious Hassan.
So apparently, the Waymos are more widespread than I thought because I'm seeing people say they're in Phoenix, they're in Denver now.
They're
in
taking over.
Austin, so they're getting
Oh,
out
wow.
there.
It's going to be
Okay.
cheaper to take. It's
Yeah.
going to be safer to drive with them besides them. Nobody's going to want fucking human drivers back in those cars.
You would rather get in a car, a robot car.
You don't have to talk to some weirdo creep. You don't have to worry about them like fucking robbing you or I don't know if you're a girl by yourself at night, some weird kind of business. Like I'd be
gotta
scared.
Get in, yeah, with those Jugga Joes.
I honestly,
I
if
bet
I
you
was a
would be
girl
scared.
trying to go home at night, I would be very apprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
Getting in a fucking Uber with some random dude. So like a lot of problems are going to be solved. It's just like Amazon. Like we're all fucked. Everyone was trying to fight against Amazon. It's like, God damn, they're taking over everything. They're putting all these stores out of business. But here's the truth about Amazon that we've all come to kind of accept. It's way too fucking good of a service. It's so convenient. It's so much like cheaper in most cases. The shipping is free. It's there tomorrow. In some cases, it's there the same day. Nothing. It's just you cannot compete.
Right.
It's that much better.
You know that
You want to go? You want to go down? You want to save the world? Go down to a mom and pop store, drive there like 30 minutes, try on some products, see like, oh, I don't actually end up liking it. I go to a different store.
Well, I do still do that sometimes, but maybe younger people don't. I don't know. Especially when it comes to clothes, I'd still buy most of my.
I think people will order it,
Yeah,
try it on,
no.
and then return it. That's what he does.
It's just too much of a pain in the ass. I'd rather drive down somewhere, and get out of the house for an hour. You know what I mean? But that's a preference thing. You know what I mean?
Or well,
I think
hold
your
on.
overall point is correct.
The trying analogy isn't good. It's more like stuff that you know that. Like, would you want to spend 30 minutes going to the grocery store to buy like toilet paper and fucking
Sure.
water
Yeah.
and shit?
100%. I agree.
You're like, hell no. This will be here tomorrow morning.
Yep.
you know that
same
pull-
day, bro.
Same day, maybe.
My ass can stay dirty until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, exactly. Just shower.
Just shower.
That pull floaty thing I bought for Mia at a Big Five, it was like $30. From Amazon, it was like 15. It was like literally
Yeah.
half the price.
Because-
It's crazy.
Wow.
Because Big Fi got a lot of bills to pay.
Also, like,
Oh my God, this is horrible. All right. Well, so I did not say that the Waymos were perfect. Video Waymo seen obstructing first responders to deadly West 6th Street
Wait, how old is
shooting.
this?
Bro.
I have seen a few of these, to be
Okay,
fair.
that's not good.
Bro, come on, guy. Move it, buddy.
Who did
I'm
the
walking
shooting, bro?
here.
It's
That's fucked up.
overstimulated, probably.
Why don't they just drive around on
You
the
know what
left
they
side?
need to do? Here's what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
wait a minute. Wait, Love has a good point. I could totally get around.
Yeah,
that.
these ambulance drivers are clip farming, bro.
What? Yeah, just
Clout
right here.
chasing.
Yeah, they're
Wait,
clip
it's totally
farming.
not.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. Emergency workers will have universal keys so that they can move it in an emergency.
Yeah.
That actually,
Done. Problem solved. Easy.
that's a pretty good
Bro,
solution. I
imagine there's some dude in Philippines like panicking, seeing this situation on all the cameras, like, what the fuck should I do?
guess. Right. Trying to,
Because
like, take
that's a
over.
controversial thing with these Waymos too. A lot of them are controlled from outside America, so they don't have American licenses, which is I find pretty interesting. And when
Oh.
they have to emergency call into the car and move it by
Wait,
hand,
that's such an
a
interesting
lot of them
point.
don't have American driver's license,
Is that
which
the
is
case?
a moral
weird.
interesting question.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
does
know.
seem weird, right?
Yeah.
That's very weird. Wouldn't they need a license to drive on our streets?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they don't drive it technically. They
but they do when they take over. You gotta know
anyways,
the street
Google it.
laws.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Look it up.
Might,
Google it.
yeah,
I guess.
don't know. They might not be outside America. I don't know.
Did you know that 1 million children are kidnapped every year?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.